you want it all. Oh baby, you want it all now. Won't you take them back 1769? Go pour yourself another glass of wine. You said, baby, you're gonna be a star. I got the shings I already heard. I'll take what I need and I give what I see. You want it all. Oh baby, want it all now. Won't you take them back 1769? Pour yourself another glass of wine. Won't you take them back to 1769?
Holly, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Sick.
Welcome to Volume Dealer.
Thank you for having us.
That was fantastic.
That was a lot of fun. It's got to get
Excellent.
sweaty in here.
It does. It does. Everybody says that, and this is on a very cold day. So
We were freezing outside and then coming in here, it's like, oh my gosh, it's good. Keeping us warm.
awesome. So how was your week?
It's been good, actually. We're preparing for tour, which has been mental. It's our first ever tour, and I'm telling everyone and their dog that I'm like, oh, we're going to be on tour. It's very exciting. I think that it's something we've always dreamed of doing, so actually getting out and doing it.
Are you on the road or are you flying?
We're driving to Sydney.
Wow. Fun and games up the Hume.
Yeah, we're gonna stay halfway, so we're not doing a crazy big trip, but yeah, it'll be good. And then Wollongong, 2 nights in Sydney, and then flying up to Queensland. We're not crazy enough to drive to Queensland.
It is a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't realise just how big this country is until you start driving it, and
Oh,
yeah.
it's insane, and like you could spend your whole life trying to find places, and I think that's the exciting bit about this tour is we're going to like towns that I've never been to before. I mean, I've like been to the Gold Coast and stuff, but like Wollongong, I'm really excited to go to. I'm really excited to just see some new places.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, 100%.
Unreal. Awesome. So how did you guys all meet and form?
I was doing solo stuff for a long time, and I was like 19. I was like, I want to start a band, and since I'm 19, I'm angsty, and I wanted to be more rock leaning. I was doing very like indie singer-songwriter stuff, and then I met some people. I met Luke actually, and Luke was into like super heavier stuff. Joe was into like his blues rock. And so the band lineup as it is now is super similar to what it was at the time, which means so much to me. And we just started playing, and I'd never screamed before. Like I'd never like yelled or done anything like that, but it just like, it clicked because of the place I was in at the time, and the energy was just right. And that's kind of how that started. And I was I went super extreme before I pulled it back. It's like there were high shows where it was all just scream yelling. And then it came back, but I think it started out of me wanting to get an energy out of me.
Yep.
And pretty much.
Cool. Awesome.
to mother to a lifetime. I feel you with lots of chemistry. Let the baseline run me, and feel like you that's coming through me. Got self-esteem, but you can't believe it. Do you feel me from the floor to the rooftops? Do you hear me from the floor to the rooftops? Got love and I feel alright, so don't bring me down. I tell you, if it's so dead, you better see that face I'm jumping. I better see those words I'm pumping. Now play that hooks I came from and spend 20 hours on the day. Now play that hooks I came from.
What artists inspired you guys, this band in particular?
I think that our inspiration is ever evolving. Like with the new track Ruckus, we've got like electronic like inspiration on it. We've got this like always this punk rock energy. So we've been listening to, I've been listening to a lot of like almost borderline house stuff because I love the energy behind it. But then I'm listening to my classics like I Queens of Stone Age, always, obviously. Been listening to great Aussie punk, always the inspiration. But a lot of overseas stuff as well. I think that there's some really exciting stuff happening over in Europe at the moment. And I'm just a sponge at all times.
Yeah. Unreal. Are there any bands in Melbourne that you want to give a shout out to at the moment you think doing really good stuff?
I'm really excited by the bands that are doing like different stuff. Like the Myths, obviously, I've had them on the show. Insane. I loved that episode, by the way. The Myths, and I went and saw the Refuge last night. They're really sick. Doing some like, there's some really good rock and roll coming out of Melbourne at the moment.
There sure is.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a musician in Melbourne at the moment.
I find that too. I'm quite surprised by, well, not surprised, but just the caliber of bands and the fact that people are still playing in bands.
It's a weird crossroads. Melbourne is just like a breeding ground, and I feel very lucky to have been brought up in the culture of Melbourne that I have. I think that I've absorbed a lot of different bands.
Yep.
And I found what I like and what I love. And I also DJ on the side as well, so I've been having a lot of fun kind of merging worlds in a way. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. What sort of stuff inspired you to want to play in a band in the first place?
I think it's always felt that I've loved bands my whole life. I've always been a bands person. I love pop music. That's a love of mine, but bands have always,
Why?
It gets my heart ticking. I think live music is so special, and it's a real human connection that you have between being on a stage and having people in the audience, because as a society, we don't talk about our feelings. So when we're like stood and we're like, you feel the same thing I feel, and we're in the same room, and we're actually just humans. And in that moment, it's special. And I think I've seen a lot of bands in my time, and that just keeps me coming back. It's like we're all the same people, whether or not I'm on a stage in a little outfit or you're at the back of the crowd, we're having the same human experience. So it's something really powerful about bands in general. And that's the main driver.
Bring me down to my knees. What
Have you been paying much attention at all to the AI stuff that's going on at the moment in the music?
Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about AI. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I was born in 2001. I've got a little bit of excitement around technology. There's been so much technology growth since I've been growing up, and everything that's come so far has been helpful for me in a way. So AI is an exciting proposition. I think it's scary for the music industry because I think for my hypothesis is for a little while I think we are gonna see an influx of AI music.
Well, we already are.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're churning out some ridiculous amount of songs that are just being churned out and put on Spotify every day through platforms like UDO and stuff like that. It is a little terrifying.
Yeah.
But
coming back to that human connection, I don't think we're going to lose our yearning for that. I think that we're always going to come back to, and that almost in a way might make punk music, whatever music, just raw music, feel rarer and more special.
I think exactly the same thing.
I'm an optimist.
Yeah, me too. Me too. As terrifying as it is, when if you do play around with it, which I haven't really, but I've seen the results of what can be done now, and it's quite staggering just how good it is, and how you can mix things up, things that you would just never dream of doing or couldn't possibly do. It is kind of cool, but on the same token, it's
mental.
Yeah.
We're in the studio the other day and, chatting about all these tools that are now available to musicians to, alter your music or make life easier in a lot of ways has been helpful. We haven't used anything in the current record, but we're definitely aware that there are lots of things coming through for musicians now. But I think we should be selective about how much power we get those tools.
Right. Yep, I agree with that. And speaking of that, I did notice in one interview that I saw of you guys that you mentioned that your drummer doesn't play to a click.
Yeah.
And I thought that, it's an interesting one because I've heard many debates about whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing. Me personally think it's a bad thing to play to a click, because instantly then everything's on the grid, and then you can alter everything, right? And that's something that people have been doing for a while now already, right? So you sort of prefer the human element to the drums?
1769 and Electric weren't recorded to click. That was a discussion we had in the studio, just because as a band, and I sound like a talkbox, I'm just constantly talking about energy, but those songs needed the energy and the looseness that not playing to a click had.
Yeah.
And we were tight. We'd geeked for months beforehand, so we knew these songs and we knew we could do it. And we did it, and I don't notice it, I just feel it feels right. Most recent song, Ruckus, we needed the tightness. We needed it to feel thumping, and that meant it needed to be recorded to a click. I think as a musician, it's the excitement of being able to choose what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you need to cater to the song at the end of the day.
Don't scream, don't even breathe, you know it better.
So speaking of that, you do have a new single
We do.
called Ruckus, which you played today. Tell me a little bit about that.
Ruckus is a love letter to that energy. It's us shaking off the shit that's constantly being shoved in us. And it's just like, let it go, play that ruckus, and it's cathartic and it feels right for this point in my life and this point in time. I think people are just wanting to move, and that was the inspiration.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And speaking of that, we've got some Ruckus-inspired merch coming as well to coincide with this episode, and I will flash up on the screen stuff that we'll have on offer, and if anybody's interested, please head to the website, make an order, support the show, support you guys. That'll be incredibly appreciative for both of us. That's the name of the game here.
All the community.
Awesome. Well, Holly, thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you for having us. She's busy,